Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to take a look at the band Yes and their album Fly From Here Return Trip. But in order to understand this album and the significance of it within the catalog of Yes and the history of Yes, we've got to step back a little bit. So we're going to look at the original release of this, Fly From Here, which came out June 22nd of 2011. And it came out on Frontiers Records, and it's the first and only album with Benoit David on vocals. This is the back side of it here. But when they went into the studio to start working on this, they decided they wanted to work on a track called We Can Fly From Here. And that song, which was available on The Word Is Live and came out in 2005 and was recorded in New York in 1980. So that song had existed for a while. And as I said, it was recorded in 1980. So that goes all the way back to the drama era. And so it was written during this album, and this album had Trevor Horn on lead vocals and Jeff Downs on keyboards. And so because they decide they want to work on that for this album, the Fly From Here album, they decided to get Jeff Downs back in the band, and they asked Trevor Horn to produce. So we know Trevor Horn not only from the drama album, but of course he produced the famous 90125 with Owner of a Lonely Heart. So it was great to have him back, and was sort of a mini drama reunion at that point. But they flesh out that song, they turn it into this 6-part suite, and it becomes the album. Now we jump ahead to 2016, and Chris Squire has passed, and the band is thinking, what if we got Trevor Horn to re-record the vocals for this album, Fly From Here, replacing Benoit David? And if they did that, then in essence, this would be a drama era reunion, and it would be the second album that they had made, and sort of a tribute to Chris. So Trevor Horn agrees to this, and he goes back in and he re-records his vocals on it. And not only does he do the re-recording, but he remixes it, he rearranges it. There's new edits of things that are on here. Steve Howe recorded additional guitar parts for it as well. And so this gets released in 2016. And it was actually part of a Yes, sort of not a festival, but a convention, a Yes convention. And so it gets released for this 2-day Yes convention, but then it's available on Pledge Music. And Pledge Music is no longer available, so you can't get it from them. But Burning Shed, a website called Burning Shed, which is a thing that's run by artists, and Yes is part of that. And so you can actually buy the album on there. It's not available on Yes's website, but it is available on Burning Shed, so you can get it there. This album, it's in a hardback book style, digipack kind of thing. And it's traditional sort of inside booklet stuff with photos of the band and whatnot, but I particularly like this one, where they Photoshop out Benoit David and they put Trevor Horn in, making it look like he was there the whole time, which is pretty interesting. And there's a history about this and what went on with it, and it's pretty cool. The other thing about this is that there's also the full-length version of Hour of Need on here. So it was an edited version on the original Fly From Here from 2011. But they also add the unreleased track Don't Take No for an Answer, a 4-minute and 20-second track on here as well. So you get unreleased, you get longer edits, you get new vocals. It's remixed. I think it's well worth it. It's almost an entirely new album at this point. But it's cool that they were able to create this drama era lineup, even though Chris Squire had passed, and one last time, be able to do that. And it happens to be one of my favorite albums of them and periods of the band. So for this to have occurred the way that it did, really fascinating and interesting, and I loved it. Now, unfortunately, they only made this one album, the drama album, in 1980, and then Yes disbanded at that point, and they went and did their separate side projects like Asia. Heat of the Moment, that became big, which then was why Yes decided they could get back together and do their thing, which is then Owner of a Lonely Heart comes out. But Trevor Horn, who does produce the 90125 album with Owner of a Lonely Heart, did go and make one more album with the Buggles, Adventures in Modern Recording. And this is a very Yes-sounding album, more progressive than the album that first came out with The Age of Plastic on it, Video Killed the Radio Star, that you might know from being the very first video on MTV. So if you do like the drama era lineup and you've never checked out Adventures in Modern Recording by Buggles, I highly recommend it. And as a second album from that lineup, Fly From Here, Return Trip, very worthwhile and totally worth checking out, and a great addition to the Yes catalog. All right, hope everyone enjoyed this. If you like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts, and we'll see you real soon. Take care. Bye-bye.